Don't you just wish they would put this close together, right? That'll be important. Remember this. Cryptology, a little bit. Pretty dope. Cosmetology.
What have you seen with the reception here in Miami?
The reason I like this is how do you get to Formula One? What's the first thing the universal speed limit's going to do with you? Plasticity of that funny car when it hits the wall.
That's the only word I can say.
Because I need the funny car to go down there, and high probability at those speeds, we're dealing with more negative ones than we are positive.
The pump up of the event here in Miami.
No getting around that one. With that speed,
incredible.
You're already over the top of your breadboard to computer.
You couldn't believe it.
Let alone.
But they're talking more on Formula One than the Super Bowl that was organized here in Miami. And that's
the cryptology, the graph would be like the only way that the race on that number makes it to it is
there's so many events around in the city, all around.
To be
I'm talking about Formula One.
Like you would think, I was like, well, radically design the shell so its windage different. It's already like the bottom of the black hole. And the more risk that is, intensity ramps that up.
People said, now Formula One is the place to be.
It's just.
And in terms of the metrics that you look at, whether it's ticket prices or ticket resale prices,
you probably have to deal with race car drivers. You're probably pretty quick about, I'm the talent around here, and I'll put you down.
Well, of course, it's a different population, it's a different cut, different cluster. Here, I would say what we can see
like
the money in terms of that respect is higher.
Sometimes I get worried on that for us,
man. And you can see
man.
that the tickets are sold out with a higher level of pricing. And that's the community of Miami, and I know that this is typical for this area, not only for the sport, but also the cost of a square feet of a house. I know that is quite interesting here. So
and then you're like,
that's the,
well,
the
I can't
economy,
handle left and right at those speeds. Just
the
that
way
one gets me too, bud, because I'll put it in it's just straight
in different places, and that's also the role of the promoter, then, to understand what is the best position that we can have together, consider the situation.
And a lot of that's because of the growth and popularity in Formula One over the past couple of years, mostly because of you.
You're too kind of.
But talk to me about how much growth you think is left for the future. I mean, we've seen this big surge. We now have 3 races. I don't know if you
Boy, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to it, though, the higher you go on that speed chain, the more likely that engine is to open up on the Babbitt variant.
Well, I would say
it switched off from compression a little bit. I mean, the next one's going to be an EV funny car that matches or beats the compression engine or jet fuel engine.
In 2 years, this market is booming up. We will have 3 events next year.
Taking a photon from a battery and directly put in
and the popularity of our sport has grown tremendously. So we are just at the beginning of this new journey. And of course, we cannot have more than the race that we're going to have next year because we need to be balanced. We are a world championship. But I think that what would be interesting is to stay tuned with the American
somebody
fans.
From the garage takes the new turbo
requires
motor
a lot
engine
of attention,
a
lot of cuts, and be sure that our narratives hit the
Raptor rocket
taste
engine
of the American
strap
fans.
it to it. What
And this
it
is
take?
something that we all together with the teams, together with the drivers, and making sure that we stay connected with them will be the key of the success for the future.
That's what it'll take, Nuke and Mars
and a lot of people attribute a large part of the success to Netflix. Do you worry that you're too dependent on Drive to Survive, and do you worry that they may have too much leverage now since Netflix could say, look,
you would say, like, if he puts it to the track every time, you know what, it'd be great if he was this shining space marine, but at the end of it, I gotta have it, no matter what that index is, they'll, if it's smashing across the record better than everybody else, it's got to be doing something. If anything, Tyson, right? Come on, you're gonna need to evolve.
The interest of
Probably
our fans
some big
was
ones, but they come in there, this was boxing.
And
no,
as always,
if
we're doing the good choices for the future, I think that together we may have also some other things that we can do together to improve our accessibility in the American market.
Could they be a potential buyer of the race rights,
here,
of the TV rights,
frame rates
or the broadcasting rights?
Well, as you know,
SnapOn.
first of all, we need to be respectful for the fact that ESPN did a great job for us to promote the business in that landscape. It's not a secret that this deal is expiring the end of this year, and the great opportunity we have is to make sure that the future offers that we are discussing with the partners that are interested to be in that dimension is well positioned in terms of content, in terms of opportunity for the fans to follow, and of course in terms of fees. That's
F1
part
plus
of the
F2,
good
set,
moment that we need
fresh engine goes.
we are living. And of course, as I said, we are very respectful for what ESPN has done so far for us. So let's see in the future.
And I know you don't like to talk publicly about numbers. It's been reported that ESPN is paying about $5 million a year now. There's some numbers floating around that maybe Formula One could ask for 75 or something closer to what soccer, what football gets in the U.S. Do you think that's
supposed to be in
a realistic possibility to get in that range of what soccer gets
whatever
in the
country
US?
they come from?
Well, of course, as you know, Robert, I couldn't disclose any number, but of course, the position of today of the platform that we have is important, and the value is given by the market.
The market,
and I think
right?
That,
they wanted to be a mechanic, street racing, and then somebody grabbed them by the noose and dropped them off at your house.
The future is very
That might be what it takes, Bones.
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Check out this Verbo.